Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
Think of your animal's symptoms like an overdraft charge. Once we're born, we're on this continuum of health until we die. So we're born, we're healthy, we slide down this continuum towards death. We're always going one way on that continuum. You're either getting healthier or you're getting sicker. Your animal is either getting healthier or getting sicker. So if you're healthy, it's pretty easy to navigate normal things like getting up, laying down. But if it's difficulty getting up, well, then maybe we don't do it. So then we don't exercise. And so then we have an overdraft. We get an overdraft charge from the bank because we didn't put enough health into our bank when we could. So now we can't draw on it when we have a problem. We know that the chiropractic adjustment increases your dog's ability to fight infection by 400%. So basically that's putting 4 times your paycheck into the health account 1 month. So that when you do get stressed, when you do get exposed to some kind of bacteria or virus, there's enough in the health account for him or her to take care of it. Fight off that bacteria. So we're hoping that the chiropractic adjustment helps keep your animal out of the red and away from overdraft charges. That's wellness and maintenance care. That's where we want your dog to be in.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. For me, my hero is Frank, my best friend. But even the greatest heroes need help sometimes. Frank and I were at the park the other day when he started limping and favoring his left leg. I didn't see what happened, but I could tell something was wrong. So we went to see Frank's favorite vet, Yvette. Yvette the vet. After running some tests, she determined that Frank had torn his ACL. His best option was surgery. But unfortunately for me, surgery wasn't an option. So what could I possibly do to be a hero to my hurting hero? That was when Yvette told us about hero braces. She took a quick cast of his leg and said this mold would be used to create a biomechanically designed stifle brace, custom-made just for Frank, allowing his body's natural healing processes to take over and stabilize the knee. About 2 weeks later, she fitted the brace and gave us the green light to walk, hike, and snuggle, and do all the activities that Frank and I were used to doing. It was that simple. Hero braces are lightweight, don't stretch or tear, and are durably designed to last the life of your dog. so Frank can get back to being Frank. Like I said, heroes come in all shapes and sizes. And lucky for us, so do hero braces.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Stan Smith. I'm the CEO of X-Dog and the inventor of the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest. What is the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest? In a nutshell, it is the world's greatest harness for dogs. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're looking to build muscle, combat obesity, address anxiety issues, high energy, you want to suppress that energy level. If you just want to take the average walk and turning into a health improving workout, we made it so convenient to exercise your dog that you literally only need about 30 seconds a day. It doesn't matter if you're doing basic obedience training or compete at high level dog sports or in protection sports. The X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest can enhance it and take any type of daily lifestyle to the next level. If you want to be part of our mission of eliminating canine obesity or just being a part of our team, make sure you go to teamxdog.com. As always, man, I want to thank you for your time and your support, and Team X-Dog strong.
Hello everyone, and welcome to barfworld.com. If you're seeing this video, it typically means you're interested in trying our 90-day challenge. If your pet is suffering from allergies, kidney issues, obesity, diabetes, or even cancer, our food can help with that. So if you're ready to see your pet's health dramatically improve in just 90 days, call us and schedule your consultation today. Hope to talk to you guys soon.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O. Today our guest is Dr. Byron. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, well, I guess for one, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. Byron Voelkert. I work in Castle Rock, which is just south of Denver in Colorado. I've been a chiropractor since 2017. Most recently started to perform animal chiropractic a couple years ago. And it's just been kind of a blessing ever since.
Cool. All right. So what's your biggest win with animal chiropractic?
My biggest win with animal chiropractic, we had a couple cases now, but this was definitely my favorite case. There was a husky that was sent down to us from the Thornton area, which is about an hour and a half north of us, in which the veterinarian at the time, they had run multiple tests. They couldn't figure out what was going on, and they have heard chiropractic being to help alleviate the structural guarding of the nervous system and have had some great effects. And this dog, mild paralysis, 2 weeks prior was up, moving around, doing everything. And at that time of the evaluation, hadn't used the bathroom in a few days, was unable to stand on its own, really just declining. And the veterinarian didn't really just was really at a loss. And so they said, hey, go try chiropractic out. This might be something that there'd be a structural impingement or possibly a nervous system that might be affected. There wasn't a chiropractor from here to Thornton that was willing to work on the dog, and I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And within 2 or 3 visits, the dog not only was up and walking on its own, more engaged, started to be able to use the bathroom on its own, but more importantly, we were able to send them back to the veterinarian for another evaluation to start to, I guess, have them give them a better direction on, are we going to need more tests? Are we going to need more drugs? What are we going to be doing? And the vet was super surprised about the results. And, they're still a great maintenance client of mine now.
Cool. Did we start using the bathroom immediately, or?
Oh yeah, blowout in the office, as you already knew was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always funny. Yeah.
That instant gratification sometimes is
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's working now,
Yeah. Yep.
I had a police dog that
Yep.
couldn't bite.
Hmm.
So, do we need to he can't bite, Doc.
Right.
He literally can't bite. No, we don't need to muzzle him. I got him. I've been bit once in 22 years. Guess what?
It was the police dog that couldn't bite.
It was the police dog that couldn't bite. I
Oh,
said,
that's funny.
this is going to hurt. Okay,
Yep.
I'm ready. Boom. Yep. Thank goodness it was a police dog, because, immediately the handler said, drop, and he did. So,
Yep.
But, it was just a bite, not a bite and tear,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that instant gratification with what we do sometimes, and it's not always there, but boy, it sure is. It sure is gratifying when it is, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. It's always my favorite when the owners are having you pretty much use a laptop carrier to bring their dogs in, and after a visit or two, or the dogs are pretty much walking in and out on their own, to the point where the owners no longer have to support them. So
Right.
that's always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a gentleman in the other day, and since I'm unable to adjust, the owner, just the dog,
Sure.
we were totally paralyzed. We got to where we could walk a little bit, but not, without being aided. And on the second visit, I decided I better help him learn how to help his dog walk.
Right.
And so we fixed that. And then about the third visit, they came in and he wasn't having to use it anymore. So it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, but I definitely, sometimes you feel bad for the owner, because it's like they're helping, and like this dog happened to be bigger than the owner almost, And,
Yeah, that can be a problem.
yeah. So anyway, so what has it done for, you mentioned a little bit, it's been blessings, but let's be more specific about what animal chiropractic has done for you, your family, and for you as a professional.
Sure, absolutely. So before this, my wife and I, we own our practice called Peak Potential Chiropractic here in Castle Rock. And I was working at a separate office. This was her bread and butter. This is her baby. And we decided that we were going to take the leap in having me perform the animal chiropractic side of the house, and she's going to perform the human chiropractic side of the house. And that leap obviously took on its challenges of, all right, well, we're going to have to build this, not only service, but this community around this opportunity for the animals in the area, which is going to obviously take a lot of time, a lot of effort. We're going to take a pay cut, so on and so forth. But with just kind of that little extra push, that little extra fire, but also just having a passion for helping out the dogs and horses in the community, we've developed great relationships with other providers. We've been able to develop great relationships with other chiropractors, veterinarians, physical therapists, that all are kind of in this umbrella of, I guess, effort to find better ways and more holistic ways to treat these dogs. And it's really not only brought a little bit of passion back into, I guess, my approach with chiropractic in general, but it's also really made me feel like I found my niche and my place in what I do with my career. So it's been great.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always nice to hear. So then we hear that a lot, but you said you took a cut and pay.
Mhm.
How long did that last?
Well, this is a curveball for you, and I don't know if you knew this, but um, so let's say about 2 years ago, we made the full transition because we were trying to do half and half transition, and we just weren't growing the business, right? Like it was, if you can't put your full effort into it, then you're just not really going to develop the protocols and the process and the trust from the community that really want your full effort. So we made the jump, and then about 2 months after we made the jump, I tore my Achilles, and so we were out due to my injury for a lot longer than it would have been. But let's say that I got back at it in, I don't know, November, December, probably, of last year. I mean, we have grown to the point where, yeah, I think what you're getting at is that pay cut no longer is a pay cut. We are absolutely making what I would have been making, if I was still working at the other office.
Yeah.
And we're growing still. So
So
it's been great.
basically in 5 to 6 months, because you wouldn't have been working at the other office either, right? You would have been on.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I would have, if anything, been sitting behind a desk doing some paperwork. But anyways, yes, about 5 or 6 months. I think that we definitely were hitting the goals that we set in front of us, and we are continuing to grow and already talking about how we need some more space. So it's been great.
Cool. More space.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or yes, or longer hours, and that's not for anybody, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. All right. So what do you wish everybody in your all the animal owners in your area knew about animal chiropractic?
I think we'll kind of put this towards pretty much what a lot of animal owners now ask questions for me. The typical, I didn't know it was a thing, right? We all know that a lot of animal owners in the dog world, in the horse world, I personally feel like in Denver, it's becoming very popular, animal chiropractic. Um, but for those that still don't understand, it's just an excellent opportunity to identify whether or not that a holistic approach or more of a therapeutic approach can keep your dogs away from the progressive or accelerated degenerative growth, where we get old dog syndrome. Um, you know, when we have our dogs, and some owners come in saying, I don't want my dogs to be dependent or on medications, or they just don't act the same as they used to, or my dog hasn't played, with me in 2 years, and we used to play all the time. And we identified that doesn't have to be their reality. If we can identify structural, let's say, dysfunction that's affecting the nervous system, that we can correct with some simple adjustments here in the office, that's going to allow them to really not be so apprehensive to go back to those behaviors of play. You're going to be able to get more life out of your dog rather than just your old dog syndrome with them just laying around. So, for a lot of, I guess, owners in the area, I say, what does it hurt to just see, is there something that we can do to help bring your dog back to life, and doing the things that they used to do on a daily basis. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge, and like you said, there's a lot of people. So put a plug in for the book. I don't have one handy, but yes, it's really a thing. Is a book that I wrote.
Oh no, I have your books in the office. I
Yeah,
actually, yeah, I remember when I left the program, I made sure that I grabbed a number of those books. And I have them in the office. So when people are sitting in the waiting room, they see the title, they pick it up, they read it a little bit, and
yeah,
it's been definitely been a staple of our office here.
yeah. So be looking for the follow up. Yes, it's a better thing. Which talks
Oh
about
yeah.
a chiropractic lifestyle for your dog.
Hmm.
Uh, Adjustments, exercise, and good food.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to talk, or I'm not an expert on human, but basically I think that I try to live a chiropractic lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
get enough exercise, keep adjusted, and the first thing I do is go to the chiropractor, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, "No, surely." I said, "Well, when that police dog bit me, the first thing I did was go to the chiropractor."
Right.
Um,
Right.
I was a little shocky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, I didn't know, but he was kind of worried. But he adjusted me, adjusted my arm, and it healed up awesome,
Mm-hmm.
quickly, no issues, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like, wow. I fell off a 15-foot scaffold and thought I broke my leg, and
Right.
went to the chiropractor
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't put any weight on my leg, none. And he adjusted my spine and my pelvis and said, "Hey, let's go take an x-ray." And I stood up and I said, "Why?"
Right.
And he looked at me and said, "What do you mean you couldn't?" And it surprised even him how effective. We know that chiropractic is great for back pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the number one research says chiropractic adjustment is the best treatment for low back pain there is, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But what about ankle pain and that you think from a 15-foot fall?
Right.
I mean, without adjusting my ankle, he never touched my ankle
Mm-hmm.
because I would have screamed if he'd have touched it when I first walked in. I mean,
Right.
it was sore, but all he did was adjust my spine. And I went from not being able to put any weight on it to be able to totally weight bearing.
Just like when I talked with a lot of the animal owners, sometimes we feel like it shouldn't be that easy, but sometimes it absolutely can be that easy.
Yeah.
Right. When we start from a big trauma like your fall, or if these dogs have been showing these signs for more than a year or so, sometimes we feel like it shouldn't be as easy as just an adjustment. That doesn't always make sense to us because it just seems so complex and we've been told so many things, but sometimes it just really is that easy.
Yeah. And even some of these problems that, like hip dysplasia,
Right.
I was talking to a canine researcher the other day, and it's like, oh yeah, well we know it's multifactorial, and
Sure.
it's genetic and diet and exercise and old age and all these things that cause these issues. And there's just not really one cure. And I'm like, okay.
I hear you.
We adjust most of their atlases, maybe their low necks, occasionally their pelvis, and they do fine. And if we keep adjusting those, and then especially if we change their diet and get them on an anti-inflammatory diet, they don't have any problems with their hips.
Right.
And we didn't change their x-ray. Their x-ray still looks bad, but they sure do move a lot better. And
yes, they do.
And it's like it's amazing, and there's no side effects. And and that's the thing, is that some of the side effects, and owners need to be aware that hey, check the side effects, because there's so many things out there that, like, I don't blame veterinarians and doctors for not knowing all the side effects of every dog, every drug they prescribe, but some of them don't know because they've never actually looked.
Right.
Unfortunately for a lot of us. So anyway, it can be, so I do recommend that everybody, look at the side effects that your dog of the drugs, medications, anything that is on, because they're all additive.
Yeah. Long-term and short-term. Right. And I think that's a big one too, where there's a lot of times where owners will come in and they're like, yeah, they've been on this medication for this long. They've never had any side effects. But then we have to differentiate between, okay, well, over time, we may develop more side effects that we didn't have originally, and these actually define what's going on. So, I I am not in a place where I can even have that conversation. I'm just saying it might be interesting to open up that conversation of,
Right.
what with your veterinarian, right? Are these potential causes, right? So
Yeah, and my one question is, they're like, "Oh, I got to keep them on this because," and I said, "Well, how's that working for you?"
right, right,
Well, because if it's working really well, why are you here? To get an
right.
adjustment. And
Hmm.
well, maybe it's not working that good. Well, then why are you still giving it?
Hmm.
If it's not working, well, then maybe we ought to look for something different.
Hmm.
And then
Nope,
sometimes that
absolutely.
wakes them up a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they go,
Give
"Oh,
them give them something to think about without
yeah,
arguing with them. Just give them something to think about.
yeah, yeah." You got to think about something. So,
Yep.
yes. What else? So, what do you wish, like, you said you talked to some of the chiropractors and that's helping, but do you find that chiropractors ask, why did you get certified?
You
Why did you get
know,
training?
sure. We can. My my original reason for becoming certified to be able to be involved with the animal chiropractic side was when we first took over the office that we're in currently. Um, the original owner and founder of this practice was actually one of your guys' first students.
Hmm.
Shout out to Megan Fowler. And she had a already provided services for dogs. And rather than just letting that go to the wayside, I said, hey, I'll take on that challenge. When I originally went to school, I went to school to be a veterinarian. Along the way, I changed my career choices, regardless what it is. But at the basis of my foundation, I guess I've always wanted to kind of work with animals. And so I thought that'd be a interesting way to kind of, I guess, fill that hole. And then the more that I worked with dogs, the more that I realized that I thoroughly enjoy it, and horses as well. And then, so when other chiropractors ask me, um, typically what I tell them is the one of the reasons why I went from humans to animals is one, animals don't talk back. Uh, but two, animal chiropractic is a growing field. I think that a lot of therapies and just overall different approaches and niches in the veterinary field are growing and kind of almost mimicking the human model, where we starting to have, you're seeing neurologists, you're starting to see just dentists, you're starting to see just physical therapists, all these things. And I really feel as though that as a chiropractor going to school for as long as we did to really understand the foundation of chiropractic, the purpose of chiropractic, and really its involvement with health in general, I just found it necessary that myself as a chiropractor would be involved in the growth of the animal chiropractic in the Denver area. So,
Well, cool. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad you said that. But I mean, like, do any of them ever ask you? Because I've heard this. Well, I adjust animals, but I didn't need any training.
Yeah, I get a few of those. Um, I haven't gotten a lot of, like, I guess, headbutting with that. I haven't gotten a lot of, like, where chiropractors are like, well, I adjust animals. I just didn't go and do the training because that's pointless. I have had a few that have gone, well, I adjust animals here and there. I know I didn't do the training. And almost like they're saying sorry. Like, I don't mean to step on your toes. I just do friends and families, dogs, right? And I always go, I don't, it doesn't bother me that you've done that before. This is the first time I've talked to you, right? I just want to let you know that as a certified animal chiropractor, you have someone in the area that is uh, that you can refer to your dogs, and I'm not going to take your human patient population
Right.
away from you. Like, I'm doing animals and animals only. Feel free to send them to me, and I'll make sure that your humans stay with you. So,
Yeah. Good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I know is that sometimes you get results. If you adjust, you're going to get results.
Mhm.
But if you're specific with your adjustment,
Yes.
you get better results.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
And so sometimes we don't know what better results look like.
Right.
So
In-
anyway, right, you know.
Right. Right.
So anyway, yeah. So those better results sometimes. Veterinarians. I know you guys no longer need referrals, but
Right.
what do you wish all the vets in the area knew?
I'll just answer the question directly. A lot of the vets in the area, I've actually gone to their offices. I've tried to meet them personally. One of my biggest things that I always try to present is, hey, I'm so an animal chiropractor in the area. I just want to let you know that I'm not here to step on any toes. My purpose is to direct any animal or dog or horse chiropractic healthcare in a chiropractic mindset. If anything, I'm here to help possibly alleviate any musculoskeletal complaints that you guys might be having coming through your doors that you might just be burnt out on, a little bit of knowing how to move forward. If you ever have any problems or have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out, and I'd love to know how I can best refer to you or how I can best, address some of my evaluations so you have better information. So for a lot of vets out there, I like to let them know it's like my purpose for the animals that go into your office is to purely keep this on a chiropractic light. We're trying to help alleviate any type of musculoskeletal problems, along with alleviating any pressure on the nervous system that might help this body heal in a natural base. I am not diagnosing over here, and I'm not trying to prescribe over here. I am not trying to, take or step into the veterinarian field at all. It's purely out of a chiropractic light.
Good. Yeah, that's neat. And it's nice to have, like, we don't have an x-ray machine here, and so, but it is nice to have somebody you can send for x-rays
Right.
and say, hey, I need some chiropractically valid x-rays that are, include these bones.
Mm-hmm.
and they
Yeah.
get it, and they get it and they understand why. Not, well, that's not the problem. We have a client, and she's like 2 hours away, so it's not like I'm stealing her regular practice in any way, shape, or form. And we sent her for x-rays, and I said, make sure you get the neck. And so she sent me the x-rays, and I said, well, I don't see a lot going on here other than some normal problems, but it's not, those have taken years to develop, and they're not the reason your dog went from being happy, healthy to moping around, but there's no neck x-ray. And so she went back to the vet and said, hey, he said there's no neck x-ray. And the vet said, oh, I felt the neck and it was fine. And she said, well, I need a neck x-ray. Are you going to take it, or do I go somewhere else? And he said, fine, I'll take it. And the dog's neck had a severe vertebral subluxation in it. That when the dog was sedated for the x-ray, it wasn't guarding it with muscles, and so it moved, right? But when the dog was awake, it was huge, causing a lot of pressure on the nervous system, every nerve in the body. And so we adjusted that vertebral subluxation, and 9 months later, the dog had puppies because her quality of life improved so much. They decided to get her bred again, and they took an abdominal x-ray, and the spondylitic changes that were supposedly causing the problem 9 months before were still there.
Right.
And they still looked exactly the same. And it's like, okay, well, obviously that probably wasn't causing the problem. And she had 4 puppies, and everything was great, and owner's happy, and but the veterinarian was surely saying that without a lot of drugs or she's not going to have a very good quality of life. And with a few adjustments and some rehab, some exercise program, She got back to pretty good. In fact, 2 years after they were talking about putting her to sleep, she acted as a brace for grandma that had a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
here's a dog that when the injury first happened, if you put one finger in the middle of her back, she'd literally flop down. And with just chiropractic care, she could brace for probably a 95-pound woman to walk down the hallway with her.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing results that you get. And here we were trying to work with the veterinarian, but
Sure.
yeah, sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah, can be.
So, hey, what would you tell any chiropractors that are thinking about adding animal chiropractic to their practice?
I think that it is an excellent addition to the services that you can provide, both for your practice, your community, and then also the families that are all involved. We've actually have had a great response with a number of families that are actually already human patients here. Once they see such great results with what we do with them, they bring in their dogs and the ones that they weren't sure that chiropractic was a thing, or a lot of them are kind of skeptical, which is funny, right? As a human, you get chiropractic care, but then like you're skeptical it's going to work for your dog. And then, they bring the dogs in, and now the whole family is being taken care of. And now everyone in the house is being adjusted, and now everyone's on the same program. And you'd be surprised on how much happier the families are when they come in all together. So I absolutely would recommend it. And if anyone has any questions, they can always give me a shout and I'll answer any questions they have too.
All right. How do I get a hold of you if I've got a dog or a horse or guinea pig that I need adjusted in your area?
Sure. So we have a couple avenues that we encourage people to reach out on. First one is always going to be our our website, which is going to be Peak Potential Chiro. And on that website, you can go through, we got lots of blog posts, we got meet the team, but we also have the opportunity to go ahead and schedule or be contacted by our front desk if you have any further questions. For everyone that does want to get a hold of us, or they want just a little bit more education or more, they have some specific questions before they come in, we do free consults over the phone, even on Zoom calls if you'd like. And so you can always schedule those on there. We have links to our Instagram. Instagram is just Peak Potential Chiro. You can type that into the search bar. You'll find us on there. Again, excellent, just informative or educational material that we post all week, every week. That will also lead you to another opportunity to go ahead and book. And if you really wanted to know the phone number, is that something you would like as well?
Yeah, you can put it
okay.
on there.
Awesome. Phone number is 720-612-4386.
All right. So, well, thank you so much for your time today. And everybody listening, remember the body heals one way and one way only, above, down, inside out. Keep those atlases adjusted and the rest will take care of itself.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.